for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Investigators say they look like coat hooks, but they can be lethal. Small devices that turn guns into fully automatic weapons.
News 6 investigator Eric Sandoval found out these devices are already on the streets. Eric?
Yeah, guys, this is actually what they look like. They're called auto sears or even giggle switches, of all things. We've confirmed they've been found in Orange, Osceola, and Polk counties, and they've been used in drive-by shootings. Now, there's fear that these devices could put more people in danger.
I was 15, a 38 special, snorting on what I was gripping.
Music videos like this one showing rapper 9lokkNine are well known to Orange County Sheriff's investigators. They say his real name is Jacquavius Smith, and they say he is a known gang member. They say he was involved in shootings like this one outside the mall at Millennia last year. And when investigators searched his Orange County home last month, they say they found 13 devices called auto sears.
Details after a shooting at the mall at Millennia yesterday, prompting an evacuation and a huge police response. We now know there's a local rapper involved in the incident. News 6's Eric Sandoval is live in Orange County tonight with more on what he's found out. Eric?
Yeah, Lisa, we do know 2 people have now been arrested in connection with last night's shooting at the mall at Millennia. Let's show you who we're talking about here. 19-year-old Trayvon Graham was arrested by Orlando police. He was charged with attempted first-degree murder and discharging a firearm in public. They also arrested 20-year-old Jacquavius Smith. They say Smith was actually one of the intended victims of this shooting at the mall last night. Police say he is a local rapper, as you mentioned. He's known by the name 9lokkNine, and he was actually wanted on a warrant in connection with another shooting that happened earlier this year.
Just he's got a bond on his all his charges, so we just.
Oh, okay, Mr. Smith, you are here because you have been arrested for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm and throwing or shooting into an occupied structure or dwelling and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Your bond on these charges is $25,000 on count 1, $150 on counts 2, 3, 4, 5, $5,000 on count 6, and $5,000 on count 7.
He's also out on bond, Your Honor. Your Honor, we were going to ask that the court...
One moment, please, counsel. I beg your pardon, he was out on bond.
Yes, Your Honor, on 2020 CF 00703580.
And that's why I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, and go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask that you take
Orlando
no
street
action on
gangs
that.
in the middle of months-long deadly feud.
WESH 2 investigates found the gangs are accused of crimes ranging from murders to PPP loan fraud. WESH 2's Bob Hazen spoke to people trying to crack down on these gangs and the father of one of the innocent victims.
Dexter was the type of guy, he set a lot of goals, had aspirations, wasn't gonna let no one or anything get in the way.
Number 2 is Ocoee High's Dexter Rentz Jr., a football star with a scholarship to play at the University of Louisville. And his dad, Dexter Sr., tells me there was much more to him than sports.
If you knew Dexter, you loved Dexter. A lot of people knew him for the accomplishments that he did on the football field, but just as an individual off the field, Dexter was a bright young man.
In April of last year, Rentz was killed. An innocent victim, investigators say, shot during a drive-by carried out by Orlando gang members.
It's like living a nightmare, you know, just knowing that you would rob of a child.
His father tells me Dexter was not involved in the gangs, and authorities say he was caught in an ongoing feud between rival groups.
This has been our highest priority for the last really 9 months, is investigating these gangs, and the investigations continue on. This is
Ron Stucker, head of the Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation, says the gangs have several affiliates, but they boil down to two main organizations. The Army Gang, also known as All Family No Friends, which investigators believe has been led by Jacquavius Smith, also known as Glock 9.
Of crime. They will do violent crime and they will do white-collar crime.
WESH 2 has studied dozens of criminal complaints against alleged gang members. There are shootings and revenge. For instance, deputies say Army member Demetrius Cox shot and killed rival gang member Wolf Luma in April 2020. Less than 2 weeks later, investigators say two Army members opened fire on people gathering after Luma's funeral. A suspect in that attack, Jeremiah Robinson, was later killed when detectives say he was shot while carrying out another drive-by. And Cox, the suspect in the first shooting, was himself killed just days after bonding out of jail. In another case, the detective describes how kids are used in crimes, writing, quote, "The Army gang's organizational modus operandi during criminal acts is normally to allow the younger gang members to conduct criminal acts such as shootings, burglaries, and robberies due to the lesser consequences for youthful offenders." That complaint says older members only get involved if a victim puts up a fight.
Of course, the gang asks them to do things that endangers them, and their lives are endangered and they're endangering other people's lives.
Law enforcement also says they found weapons fitted with devices called auto-sears, like the ones in these pictures, which make guns fully automatic, able to dump bullets rapid fire. MBI recently arrested dozens of members from both gangs on racketeering charges, and that is where some of the white-collar crime comes in. Investigators even accuse several of them of getting people to apply for PPP loans, the federal government's COVID-19 relief program for businesses. MBI believes the gangs have been crippled by these arrests.
We're going to be watching very carefully for anyone who wants to step into that void.
Despite the arrest, the pain continues for the families of those caught in the violence.
It's hard. You know, it's a day-to-day battle. You know, without our faith, without our structure in the family, we wouldn't make it, man.
Rentz started what he says was the other part of his son's dream, the Dexter Rentz Jr. D2 Foundation, to help kids and families.
Dexter was taken from us in the physical, but his legacy and his life will continue to live on through this foundation. We will help young kids excel.
On August 29th, the foundation is hosting a Victory Over Violence event at Lake Eola to help connect the families of victims of gun violence with the resources they need. Bob Hazen, WESH 2 News.
Many of the alleged gang members who were arrested on RICO charges are being held in the Orange County Jail without bond because they'd already been facing charges in other cases.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We're on our way to good old Florida, the gunshine state. Orlando to be exact. All my real ones from Orlando, y'all get in the comment box. Y'all know how we run it. Now, today, we are going to be covering one of the more well-known emerging artists coming out of the city of Orlando, if not the top emerging artist, and we're talking about Cash Money's own, Orlando's own, Jacquavius Glock 9 Smith. According to authorities, Glock 9's arrest was a major dent in the start of taking down gang violence in that part of the Sunshine State. So I'm just going to do my best to try to break down how they came to that conclusion. So by all accounts, this RICO case that Glock 9 is facing is tied to a gang rivalry and almost a rap rivalry, and something that's going on and playing out in a lot of cities across America and definitely Florida. You only got to look down the road to Duval to see what's going on there, and this is definitely in the same class Now, some people are going to say, how come we covered Glock 9 but didn't cover the other rapper that's associated with this case, which is going to be Javari Hot Boy Walker? Now, we are not keeping scores. We don't know what's going on or behind the scenes. But even before the RICO case hit, Hot Boy was facing a litany of charges on the state level, and he was the target of an execution at a mall during broad day. So that just kind of lines you up to kind of be on Mob Ties. Now back to the RICO case first, because we have to break that down in order to get into everything with Glock 9. Now, in the summer of 2021, the federal authorities charged Glock 9, Hot Boy, and 22 others with RICO charges related to 30 shootings that went on in the city of Orlando. And also, it was multiple homicides involved in that RICO case. Now, named Operation X-Force, it was to target Orange and Osceola gangs in hopes of solving gang-related homicides. Now, according to Orange County Sheriff John Mina, he described Glock 9 as the leader of Mercy Drive's Army Gang, and he would go on to say that getting the 21-year-old artist was a step in authorities dismantling a nucleus of crime in that particular part of the city. Authorities would name Hot Boy as the leader of the 438 gang, and they would say that they are based in the Silver Star Road community. So anybody from Mercy Drive or Silver Star Road, y'all get in the comment box. Y'all definitely let us know what the view looked like out of y'all window. Now, call it a case of bad luck. Just a month before the RICO case was announced, Glock 9 was caught with a weapon during the ICSO raid on a home on Hazen Ridge Way, south of Cherry Ford and Dean Roads. Now, he was found in a bedroom where there was a duffel bag with a loaded firearm and several rounds inside that firearm, and he was also found with 13 auto sears, or what we know as switches. Now, the investigation will begin with the murder of star football player Dexter Rentz, who had committed to Louisville University, but that was not the only murder that was linked or that the authorities would tie to gang-related violence. Now, 5 months to the date of Mr. Rentz's murder, on September 21st, 2020, Orange County Sheriff deputies responded to a drive-by shooting on Glendale Road and found 2 victims. One was Dennis Joshua Atkins, who was fatally wounded. Now, a day later, on September 22nd, 2020, 3-year-old DeQuayne James Felix Jr. was the innocent victim of a drive-by shooting on Drexel Avenue. Now, detectives believe the intended target of that shooting was another person in that home. It wouldn't end there. Now, on the early morning hours of May 2nd, 2021, 16-year-old Tavia King and a friend were calling an Uber after an evening out when her friend's brother offered to give them a ride. Now, shortly after, another vehicle opened fire on their vehicle in a targeted gang shooting. King was shot and hospitalized, but did not survive that shooting. So really, with that rash of homicides, the local authorities would seek the help of the federal government, and there you will have Operation X-Force. Now, what I need y'all to do is get in the comment box and let me know, is this a case where the authorities are targeting high-profile people that are trying to make it out of the city, or is this a real deal situation? Looks like the authorities are pretty much battling this in cities all across America, especially with the emergence of social media and the access to music tools. Individuals are using those almost in concert to draw attacks on their enemies or their ops. Y'all get with me in the comment box. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. Y'all let me know what city we need to go to, who we need to cover. Y'all hit me on the email, hit my phone, get me at me in a direct message, however y'all want to handle it. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb, Ties.